I was worried that she was going to break her neck or something. You know, well, if I was him, I wouldn't be there.
You wouldn't have rented the place. And
I would have, you know.
You'd have walked in the door and gone,
one noise in the morning.
No, I won't take it, thanks.
I mean, I love. I mean, I live in an old property, so things to do with supernatural really freak me out. Welcome to Screen Time.
Hi, how are you doing?
We love movies.
We do, old and new.
Yeah, we love games.
Yes, also old.
And in these videos, we're going to explore, revisiting movies and games from our childhood.
Yeah.
And also experiencing things afresh.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to go back and revisit old stuff, but it's also great to see new stuff as well.
Absolutely.
So, what did we watch this week?
So this week we watched The Changeling.
The Changeling.
1980.
Yeah, weirdly.
Supernatural horror.
Yes, supernatural horror. Weirdly, with this movie is that right at the beginning on the titles, it's got 1979, but officially it's 1980. I don't know why, but anyway.
Really?
Yeah, it's very odd.
Okay,
nerdy.
So nerdy, but interesting. So
when
did you first see this movie?
I probably saw this at some point in the 90s, I think.
Okay.
So I think at the time, I don't think it did very well. But interestingly, it's so effective that I think it's influenced so many other movies since, like The Others and Sixth Sense and something, because it's very much a film of like atmosphere and slow dread. Would you say?
Yes. I mean, I don't remember when I first saw this, but I think I was quite young when I saw this. So watching, obviously, because you probably showed it to me, I probably wasn't allowed to watch it. So I think my experience of watching this first off was probably like this.
Yeah.
Like this. So I don't recall much of it at all.
Right,
so watching this was kind of watching it as afresh.
Mm-hmm. The basic synopsis of this is that it's about a man called John Russell. And even in the title sequence at the beginning, you realise that his wife and daughter have been killed in a car accident. Plows into them. I mean, and it's quite horrific. A shocking beginning to it. He decides to up because obviously he needs to move on, and he's in trauma.
He's a composer.
He's a composer. Yeah. That's true. He's a composer. He's asked to come to Seattle, and he reestablishes himself in Seattle. And he's allowed to rent this old mansion house.
And it hasn't been lived in for 12 years.
Yeah, he moves in. And what's interesting about the film is that it's a slow revelation thing. There's little things that happen. The very first thing that you realise isn't quite right is he's playing on the piano and one of the keys doesn't work.
That's right, yeah.
He walks away and the camera pans back to the key and then it drops. But then this is like a boom of the piano, like the soundtrack. And it makes you, oh gosh. I think the little ghosty things in this are really effectively done. I think it's got a real chill to it. He moves into the house. He hears this weird banging in the morning that wakes him up, and he thinks it's the pipes. He gets people in to investigate.
Why would it happen 2 mornings in a row? Precisely at 6 o'clock.
Turns out that it's not the pipes. There's something trying to communicate with him.
Yeah, the place is haunted.
The place is haunted. So initially he puts it down to the fact that because he's lost his wife and daughter, he thinks it's his daughter trying to communicate with him. Yay. And so he has a seance, which is a really creepy sequence in the film.
Yeah.
And he's forging this relationship also with
the lady who
the realtor.
found the house for him.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Claire Norman.
They're discovering all these things as they go along. So she comes along to this seance. And it turns out that it's not his daughter, it's a child called Joseph. And the seance is great, stuff gets thrown around and stuff. It's like, oh my God. It's really quite cool, isn't it? But it's done in a really measured way. It's not over the top. There's bits of it where they they kind of overham it a little bit.
They crank it up a bit, don't they?
They do crank it up a little bit at the time. I still think it maintains that really kind of creepy feel through it, except at the end, which I think, they kind of, obviously the producers have gone, we need a bit of spectacle here, and they sort of go a little over the top.
As you said, there's a lot of sound effects in the movie, and there's a lot of kind of blowing, and that I actually found quite distracting.
Oh, really?
Because I wasn't sure if that was something that we were hearing as viewers, and he was not aware of it, or it was something that he could hear as well. It ended up being a little bit annoying.
Oh, interesting.
And I think, and as a technique, because it's a different technique to what would be done today. But what I did love about it was the fact that, I love. I mean, I live in an old property, so things to do with supernatural really freak me out. So
did you have difficulty watching this?
No, this one, luckily, I had the dog there, so it was fine. One thing that I do like about this movie is the fact that you don't see hauntings necessarily. I mean, there's imagery of the boy. But you don't have people walking around.
Yeah, there's none of those jumps. It's not a jump scare.
I mean, you have the wheelchair.
Yeah.
Which is possessed in its own way, which is a bit weird.
That was a bit weird.
It's more, doors opening and closing. Not knowing what's behind doors. They're being encouraged to chip away to get into a room. And then, trying so hard to get into it. And then those big, loud noises because he's hammering in kind of a rhythm. And then the house takes on the rhythm as well.
The editing, I think, is really clever. And although you didn't like the sound design so much, I think some of the clever mixes between him hammering and the bam, bam, and then the pipes are going bam, bam, bam. Yeah. So there was some really interesting stuff.
The whole thing is about sound, and that is an element in it because he discovers this tune and he was playing it.
Yes.
And he was like, hold on a minute, that's a very strange, something's happening in this house.
Yeah.
So it is clever. They do use sound a lot.
Yeah. I think what I like about it is the fact that you go on the journey with him. You're not given all the information at all, and so you're discovering, and you're led down a few little kind of like false narratives because you think, it's the daughter's come back, because there's that ball that she had which comes down the stairs, which is super creepy.
That's creepy because he throws it
it's
into
like that
river,
scene in The Shining where the ball just comes from somewhere but you don't know where, and this ball comes down the stairs.
Good about the movie is it could just be about a haunted house and people go and they have experiences in this house, but it actually ends up being more of an investigation.
There's some question about your lease, Mr. Russell.
What do you mean?
That house shouldn't have been rented.
A thriller.
It's a thriller, and there's haunting moments, but then he spends a lot of his time going out and about, which I'm like, thank God.
Yes, it's not all in the house.
Because I think
you need a breather.
You need a breather, and also you think, well, if I was him, I wouldn't be there.
You wouldn't have rented the place, and
I would have,
You'd have walked in the door and gone,
one noise in the morning.
No, I won't take it. Thanks for the offer, but
thank you, but
I'll have a modern place. Just
exactly. I've forgotten what I was talking about now.
Sorry. No, I think what you were saying is that it's you're going along this narrative, and it's your things are being revealed to you, and it's really cool, and there's some bits in it where you just think, I still think it's really effective in the shivers department. There's a scene where he realizes that the reason it's called the Changeling is that the little boy that was who the ghost was had been murdered by his father. And the banging, when you get that realization that the banging on the pipes wasn't actually that, it was the kid's fist hitting the side of a bathtub as the father is drowning him in this flashback, which is so disturbing. There's lots of disturbing imagery
the
in here.
water trickling and things like that.
Yeah, there's also another shot as well where an investigator comes and he's intimidating him, and he's looking in a mirror, and the mirror smashes, and then suddenly it cuts to a real close up of this guy with blood on him. The camera rotates around. You realise it's the investigator that has somehow had an accident, a spiritual accident, I would say, in the car. But it's such a shock. And the camera zooms into the car, and that's him.
I don't know how it happened. I don't know how it could have happened. There are no other cars. There's nothing. And it's upside down in the middle of the road.
That actually... came back to me later in the evening when I was trying to go to sleep. I had that face, and it's things like that are really, really creepy. But one thing I did find that was it was quite interesting. It's like a transition for the character. But then moving into the way that the movie was right at the beginning, after you've had the accident. He's walking through Seattle. And, it's really wide shots. And he's walking around the city, and there's not many people. And you really get a sense of his loneliness.
Yeah, agreed,
And as he's walking around, there's some moments where there's a lot of people, but most of it is shot where it's very wide shots, and he's in the center of frame. And so before he gets to the house, there's a lot of that imagery, and you just think, it really sets up the fact that he is alone now. But then when he goes to the house and he's walking around the premises of the house, again, you get these wide shots, and you get like a tree in front, or you get a branch, and it's kind of like we're behind these things watching him, and again, he's center of frame. But then I didn't get the sense of it showing you loneliness. It's more like he's alone in this house, and it was more for creepiness. Is something watching him?
Yeah, okay.
What's he up to?
It puts you on edge.
And so it was the same technique, but in different parts of the movie, very close in terms of timeline. It created a different feeling. But it was
is it the ghost view of you, or whatever?
But it was just that wide angle where you were like, oh, he's alone, but actually, there's this big property that he's now in that is very airy, and in some ways it created this eeriness.
It's quite complex, this film. There's a lot going on, and when the reveal happens that the boy's been murdered, and they've replaced him with another child that they get from,
it's like Switzerland
or something.
Somewhere?
They pretend that the son has gone off for treatment, but the reason they kill the son is because he is he disabled or something?
So. He's disabled.
He's disabled, and he won't, and they think he's going to die before the age of 12. And the inheritance that the family would get wouldn't come to them because it would go past them and onto someone else. The father comes up with an idea of killing the child and replacing him with a changeling who is healthy, so that he's guaranteed to get this money. And that's basically what happened. And so the rest of the film is him trying to piece together the story of who the child was, who the person who was replaced it, and you realise that it's the senator.
They've been going through the files.
Let me have that name again.
He knows what's been going on.
And
there's that horrible sequence where they have to find the evidence of the body in the well. And the well has been built over by this house. But this person who's renting this little house, and the daughter. That bit gave me the heebie-jeebies.
Yes, it was just a description. It wasn't even something that you saw, but the description was that he appeared from the floor.
Floating up. Through the floor.
While she's sitting in bed. And he was just staring at her.
She'd seen a boy, very small, very thin, almost gnome-like. And he was trying to come up through the floor.
The imagery I had for that was
probably
awful.
More so than when they actually
yes,
played
because
it back.
when they showed you him sort of floating there, it was just a bit like, and I just thought, well, that wasn't the imagery. That wasn't the imagery that
you conjured up in your head. And I think it's the way that the actress portrayed it, because when she was talking about her daughter and that she'd seen this little boy rising from she was just looking, and it was almost like she was in a trance when she delivered it, and it was a really creepy delivery. He forges a little bit of a relationship with the realtor, and I read up for this really. He's actually, the actors were married, so he was actually married to her. So that's why there's actually quite good chemistry.
Okay.
I think there was always that kind of
Yeah,
like
there was a little bit of like,
frisson.
yeah.
a little there's something there between them which was really I thought sold the movie a little bit. The actual house itself was built for the film. It wasn't a house that existed. They literally rebuilt.
So did they actually burn it then?
They actually burnt the house down.
Wow,
Yeah,
because you've got to get that right in the first take then, don't you? If it's not on model.
I was like, it's old. Lighter won't light. And obviously the interior sets were all designed specifically for them.
Yeah. Everything made sense. Everything seemed filmed and done for a reason.
Yeah.
But when we got to the ending, you were right. For me, it felt like, hold on a minute, this person's put all this effort in and you're just gonna damage everybody anyway.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. I mean, I know you'd be angry.
Yeah,
you would be angry. And you'd
as
be
a
like,
ghost, you'd be angry that there'd been no resolution.
Yeah, you'd be angry, but he did his due diligence.
He investigated for you.
You know, he found the results.
I agree with you.
You know, and you don't throw a chandelier on someone.
So the ending is just a little. As I said, I think it felt like
we need to do something.
The producer was like, we really need to amp this up a little bit at the ending. And I don't think they really needed to.
No, because it felt a bit silly.
It got a little silly. But the first time I saw it, I remember being very affected by it. And it kind of, it was such a successful haunted house movie for me. But I am pleased that it wasn't all just in the house, because I think a modern version of this would be just in the house. There'd be ghosts walking through shots. There'd be lots of CG, and that this isn't that kind of movie.
Sometimes a little is enough. I have to say, on this rewatch, I didn't find it very scary at all.
Okay, interesting.
But it's not to say I didn't enjoy it. But there were moments, as I said, it was the moments of like the description of the boy coming up through the floor, or when they're going through the house and you're not quite sure what's behind a door. Those sorts of things are creepy, but it as a whole, I think the jumps and the sounds at the time would have been terrifying. But for me, I was just like,
there's a scene where the poor woman's being chased by the.
Oh yeah, I mean that was just
okay, yeah.
I was just like, when's she gonna fall? When's she gonna fall? But I was worried that she was gonna break her neck or something, But it was just like, if you fall, please don't break your neck.
Yeah.
But I was waiting for that moment. But also, I would have just. I was expecting to see somebody with like remote control behind it.
It was almost like a remote control drone wheelchair.
Yeah, exactly.
There are bits in the film that have dated quite badly. I mean, he's got this reel-to-reel audio recording thing. And when they're having the seance, you don't hear the little boy's voice, but on the video, because that's an old trope now that's come back. They have it all the time.
That seemed to take forever.
And he just kept listening. And it's like we picked it up the first time, and he's like, let's play it again. And it must have gone on for about 5 minutes. I'm like,
you did like 5 different moments.
Joseph, and I'm like, I think we've heard it.
I was listening out for a different name because I was hearing Joseph, and I was thinking, is he hearing like somebody else's name?
Yeah.
So I was trying to work out if there was another name in there.
It was just Joseph.
So it was Joseph.
It was just Joseph.
So on a rewatch, how do you now rate this? You saw it in the 90s.
Yeah.
You're now seeing it.
I think the thing is, it's like any movie that's of this age. It's very difficult to look at it in isolation of the time. I think at the time for me, it would have scored higher. It's still a brilliant film to watch, and I really advise
if you haven't seen it, it is really worth a watch.
It's really cool. And it's creepy. It's creepy.
There's a real creepiness.
I would give it now probably a 7.
I thought you were going to say an 8.
No.
Because you've said 8, I think, for most of these videos. Okay, 7.
No, I'll give it a 7.
Yeah.
I think if someone was to watch this fresh, they'd be like, I don't see what the fuss is about. Because
Absolutely.
I think there's very much more modern films that have taken from this and added to it. Like The Conjuring, or not The Conjuring. What was the other one? The Insidious, with the little boy dancing.
And The Ring, when she's creeping out of the well. Because when I saw the well, I just thought,
is she going to come out?
Yeah.
Is he going to come out? Yeah. So some of it doesn't work as well, but I think as a solid film, I think it's fun.
Yeah, 7's not a bad score.
Yeah, that's all right.
I think I would I'm going to go slightly lower, and I'm going to go 6.5.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, it's
But
just on the periphery.
Yeah.
It's okay. It'll do.
It'll do.
Didn't scare the pants off me.
No, it didn't. Not this time round. No.
Okay,
But anyway,
fantastic.
if you've seen it, tell us what your rating of the movie would be.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And if you like this video, please subscribe. It'd be fantastic. And give us a thumbs up as well. That would be amazing. So until next time then.
Until next time.
Yeah, thanks for watching, and see us
See you
again
on the
on
next
Screen
one.
Time.
Yeah, see you on the next one.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.